First of all, I thank Shuklaji for giving me this wonderful opportunity to share my thoughts. I'm sure all of us are familiar with the archaeological examination and the resultant consequences and the discoveries. I'm not going to the factual aspect of it because facts are available at a click of a mouse. So my concern is, as I strongly believe as a student of history, history is a continuous process of interaction between past and present, and it is an unending dialogue between historians and their facts. I always believe in asking some critical questions about the connected histories of archaeology, history, heritage, and the identities. So it is in this context I have three questions, then I'll summarize. Maybe you can think of asking these three questions in the contemporary perspective. The first question that often comes to my mind when we think of Archaeological Survey of India and the nation building is, to what extent history and archaeology help us understand the culture, heritage, and the changing identities. Second is, why did the British use archaeological findings to write the history of the subjugated Indian masses? And the third important question is, what are the changing dynamics of archaeology in the post-colonial and contemporary India? Now, I'm sure all of us are familiar, since most of you are from international relations background. I think a small definition is needed to why people call archaeology is very important now more than ever before. First, Alexander Cunningham said in his definition of archaeology, I quote him, archaeology is not limited to broken sculptures, old buildings, and mounds of ruins, but it includes everything that belonged to the history of the world. And this clearly tells us the changing dynamics of the archaeology. I would like to take 1 or 2 minutes here how the changing dynamics of archaeology need to be understood. There are two schools of thought. One of the schools of thought clearly tell us that we need to follow the colonial practices because archaeologists continue to interpret through colonial lens by depicting the Indian civilization, what the colonial archaeologists did. And secondly, archaeologists in the recent past, maybe B.B. Lal, Vasant Shinde, K.K. Mohammed and others, begin to ask some critical questions about the nomenclatures of the civilization based on new evidences. I'm sure all of us are familiar with the nomenclature, Indian civilization, or Indic civilization, or Sindh civilization, or Saraswati civilization. I'm leaving this to all of you to decide which term that you would like to prefer. But my concern here is only one. How archaeology can be studied under the broader rubric of heritage. So, in fact, we should not forget the idea that heritage is our cultural DNA. And perhaps this is one of the reasons why even Karl Marx said, I quote him, take away the heritage of the people are easily destroyed. And here Mark Twain is relevant because he is the one who said, partly because of this importance of heritage, India is the cradle of human race, the birthplace of human speech, the mother of history, the grandmother of legend, and the great-grandmother of tradition. I conclude here by the recent research by archaeologist Vasant Shinde. In his material culture, he discovered at Rakhigarhi, a village in Haryana. He clearly challenges that the Indian civilization is an 8,000-year-old civilization, roughly. And this archaeological discovery clearly debunks the Aryan invasion theory that most of us are worried about, at least the scholarly communities. The Aryan invasion theory, particularly the Aryans, which always believed that they are supposed to have, included or invaded India roughly 1800 1500 BC. So my concluding remarks, therefore, the colonial archaeologists on the one side claim that Aryans invaded India. Secondly, Marxist scholars have tweaked this Aryan invasion theory a bit and floated the idea of Aryan migration theory. But in the recent past, however, archaeological discoveries reveal that there was neither Aryan invasion nor Aryan migration. And most importantly, the changing dynamics of archaeological findings in the near future might reveal that there could be drastic changes in the understanding of Indian culture, civilization, and identity. Let's wait and watch how new findings can reveal wonderful things to understand India's cultural tradition and civilizational ethos. Thank you.